Hi, welcome to another video on the Academy of Development. If you're here for the first time, my name is Sylvia and I'm a life and business coach. If you watched my other videos, welcome back. In today's video, we are putting the focus on self-respect. So, if you watch it, I bet you want to know why other people do not respect you, and you would like to know what to do to gain more respect. So I'm gonna start with something that you probably know, you heard about before, and something that is quite logical. No one is going to respect you if you do not respect yourself. So again, I encourage you to put the finger at yourself first. So let's talk about a few aspects that you need to look at, and that you need to imply into your life to respect yourself more, so that others can follow you. They're like your mirror. If you do that, they're gonna do the same thing. So first and foremost, look at your needs. If you need to give yourself the fulfill your needs. What I mean by that is don't wait for other people to fill in the gap that is there. So first you need to fill in this gap for others so that others may follow. What I would like to ask yourself is that are you what kind of things you are missing in your relationships? What do you need from people, from the relationships? And start giving it to yourself. Whether this is acceptance that you need of other, if this is acceptance that you need of other people, show the acceptance to yourself by, for example, showing acceptance of your decisions that you made. Maybe not all of them were great from this point that you're at right now, but they were good back then when you made them. Another thing, how can you fulfill your needs is if you have a need of recognition, start with recognizing yourself first. That's how you gain self-respect. So recognize your failures, which are really learnings, and what you took out of them, and also recognize your success. What how that affect us is it impacts our self-trust. So if you want to be more self-motivated, more self-confident, you need to trust yourself. That's how you build self-respect, from setting the trust in you no matter what you do. So you need to be your best friend. Remember that you're the only person who's gonna be with you until your last breath. So you want to recognize yourself and you want to be your best friend. So how this fulfilling of your needs occur? Very often, it is expressed by your self-talk. So pay attention to how you talk to yourself. Do you lose the words like, I'm a failure, I'm a loser? Do you judge yourself? If that's the case, number one is work on that. And I know it may be quite challenging because it's the beginning of the process, but self-talk is something that I'm putting an exclamation mark here. This is what you want to, this is the foundation of your self-respect. So even though it's gonna be maybe painful, definitely inconvenient, tough, it's not gonna come easy at the beginning. There are ways, and that I'm gonna share with you at the end of the video, how you can start speaking nice to yourself, what the first step can be. Okay, but also um, when it comes to self-respect, what's really important is to the ability to say no, because the when you say no, it means that your other need requires your attention right now. It's more important right now. So um, again, I recorded a video about how to say no in a way full of empathy. So I'm gonna link it somewhere here. Um, but here I want you um, to consider that there are two ways. After you say no to somebody, you may expect two things to happen. First one is that somebody's gonna accept your no because they know their boundaries, they accept who you are, they accept that you have your needs. But you may also come across the opposite. You may also come across people um, not accepting your no, people reaching to abusive techniques like manipulation, gaslighting, silent treatment. This is what may happen. Or they may be passive aggressive. Again, you um, you don't need to explain yourself too much. You just need to be aware you are responsible for your emotions. So do not give extensive explanations why your no is a no. But again, this is something that I'm elaborating more in the video about saying no. So check that, because it's a huge component of self-respect. Another thing that I encourage you to take into consideration when it comes to self-respect is check your relationships. Consider the ROI, return on investment, on your friendships, on your relationships in general. And here I want you I want to have your attention. I want to draw your attention to two scenarios. So the relationships that are existing where you already are, and check the ROI, the return on investment of the new relationships. What I mean when I say return on investment is checking if the balance between giving and taking is right, whether there is harmony. Check out if you have any relationships where you give, and you're not getting anything, or you're just getting bare minimum. And this is something that will have a negative impact on your self-respect, because it's gonna leave you drained, it's gonna leave you dissatisfied, maybe disappointed. So check if the person who you are supporting, who comes to you for advice, for help, just to cry, cry on your shoulder, check if they would say yes to you if you need it, or if they show the back at you when you are in need. If the investment is weak, if there is no return, this means that you're gonna end up, you either are in a toxic relationship, or this relationship is getting toxic. It works one way. And again, that doesn't boost your self-esteem, that doesn't make you feel respectful of yourself, because you are investing your time in, you're wasting your time, you're making bad investment, and that will have and you will feel that, you will feel discouraged, and maybe you're gonna be blaming others for that. But definitely you're gonna have your self-respect will drop. When it comes to new relationship and how to what I mean by the return on the investment that we should pay attention to is not to give too much before we get to know the person better. What I come across at my work is very often people who start a new job and they want to show how good they are. Um, they kind of forget about their expectations, their in a good way, they boundaries, and they when they set the foundation, they show that they don't matter. That only one party, the for example the employer, matters, and they don't. That's how you lose self trust. Also, when it comes to showing, hmm, when it comes to private life, when you enter a relationship, a romantic relationship, self respect is something that you will have if you give to this person um, enough not to uh, lose yourself. What I mean by that is whether you ignore, let's say, you do the ice baths because this is something that's close to my heart. So, are you gonna give up um, your ice bathing? That's important to you. That keeps your sanity, that keeps your immune system right. Um, because this person wants to meet you on this and this time, and they don't show any flexibility. They say no, and you cannot make any arrangements. You need to give up um, the ice bath. You need to give up later on your I don't know, yoga class or meeting your friends because they expect something of you, and you give up and you give up. Then you lose self trust, and this leads to losing self respect. What I often repeat and what I keep on telling you of is the importance sorry of setting boundaries. I think I want to speak so fast that I that I started stumbling. So the more important than setting boundaries is executing them. Otherwise, they don't make any use, or you don't make any use of them. Um, I recorded separate video about that, so it's gonna be linked here. Please have a listen to that if you are in the process of setting boundaries. So again, what does that mean to execute the boundaries? It means that if somebody is being late to the meeting with me, and I use the nonviolent communication way to, which means that I stated facts, I told them about my feelings, the needs, and I requested something of them, and they still don't, and they accepted it, but they still don't respect that. Uh, I need to take some consequences. So the consequence of somebody being late is that after you've spoken to them about it in a non-violent way, you can say, look, I really appreciate my time, and like I told you, we set some rules in place. I requested something of you, for example, to let me know prior to cancellation of the meeting so that I can rearrange my day. So I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to meet you this week, and probably, and whatever else you want to say, but you need to take consequences. So I cannot afford meeting you, for example, any longer over the weekend, because this is when it all gets messy when it comes to my agenda and my organization of my time. Another example is of setting boundaries and executing them is, let me give you this work example. So imagine you're a freelancer and somebody is asking you, somebody says, look, do this work for free for now as an investment in the project that we can start with in a while. And you ask them, so you agree, you invest your time. For example, you write one article a week towards this project, and you expected this person to send you an email with a strategy for the project, when you're going to be earning, when you're going to get the benefits that you were promised. And they don't do that, even though you ask them for the second time, and they still ignore you, but they still want your work of you. They still want your energy. This is the perfect time to execute the boundary and to say, look, before we go any farther with that, before I get involved more and invest more of my time and energy into this project, I'm expecting you to send me this email with the agreement or signing the agreement, whatever you want to. I'm not gonna do any further work. Punto. Okay? That person may get irritated. No pasa nada. It doesn't matter. You are responsible for safeguarding your boundaries. That's the way to have self-respect. And trust me, the person who you're gonna be dealing with, like if you said it this way to the person who proposed the work in the project, they will respect you more, because they would know that, hey, you cannot mess with her, with him. They know their value. They have self-respect, so I need to obey. Another thing that is inevitable to say when it comes to self-respect is the ability of responding rather than reacting. I bet you experience this scenario when stressed out person comes into the room, whether this is your family member or it's your colleague. They come into the room, they're very negative, they're blaming other people, and you unconsciously, without any reflection, you start taking their energy and lowering your vibes. So what I want you to pay attention to is that you are aware that you have you don't need to get involved in somebody's emotions. On the contrary, you should not get involved in the negativity of the other person. So let's draw this scenario. What if somebody is very negative? If somebody around you is very negative, reach out to the bubble technique. Put yourself in the bubble. Physically acknowledge your space that they cannot break into with their energy to lower your vibes, to make you miserable, to share their bad emotions with them. I encourage you to listen to the guided meditation that I recorded a while ago, so I'm gonna link it here. How to keep yourself in the bubble. And thank you for those who spread this technique. It's not me who invented that, but it's something that I found useful, that I find logical, and that what works for me, what I use personally. So I hope you're gonna enjoy it. So number one is acknowledging the space that you have and that nobody can break into. Second thing is that you need to communicate your message in a healthy way. So if somebody is shouting at you, yes, number one is to protect your energy, yourself from this, put yourself in the bubble. And the second thing is expressing, verbalizing that you are not into this. So you can say, I find you being disrespectful to me. I told you that I do not shout and I do not let anybody to shout at me. So I understand that you're in a I understand that you're angry, you're frustrated, but please, let's continue this conversation when I'm gonna give you some space so you can cool down, so we can continue this conversation with respect, without you shouting at me. These are little things, but And at the beginning, it may be difficult for you to imply them, but for you to have self respect is you need to. You need to work on these areas. So, like I promised at the end, and like you probably noticed, the common denominator of everything is the way you talk to yourself. So, this is the exercise that I give to my clients most of the time. Um, Acknowledge yourself, notice your self talk. So, the exercise that I'm proposing for you in order to start a good talk with yourself is learning how to thank yourself. So, go to the mirror and look yourself deep in the eyes and say what you're acknowledging, what you're thankful for to yourself. And you can even write this in 1, 2, 3 sentences and hang it somewhere so that you know, in the moments, especially of crisis, that you have this self trust and self respect because you acknowledge your success as well. You acknowledge the human being that you are. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If if it was, please share it with somebody who may need it to hear this right now. I encourage you to leave a comment or your feedback, and I also encourage you to share with me under the video what would you like to hear about more when it comes to self-development. What else is that is a challenge to you? So, and also if you feel that Academy of Development and what I'm sharing with you here is for your self-work. But there are times that you need this altered support. You need to have the support to go through the process very individually. Nothing wrong about it. If that's the case, I encourage you to get in touch with me so we can arrange a meet and greet session and see how I can support you with the private life or business coaching. That's it from me today. Good luck, and remember that we teach people to respect us by the way that we respect ourselves. Thank you.